Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the final presentation of Indonesia-Australia Water Utility Forum on Containing COVID-19, jointly organized by Presentasi and the Australian Water Association, AWA. This year has been very tough for everybody, including those who are working to provide water as the essential services to the community. We observe the cruelty of the virus. It does attack the weakest part of society. We lost our family members, friends, and colleagues because of the COVID-19. That's why we are here, to do what we got to do. The objective of this forum is to strengthen the capacity of water utility in responding to the COVID-19 pandemic. 4 months have passed since we all together established this forum and share experiences in facing challenges due to the pandemic. In today's webinar, we will hear some brief conclusions from Indonesian utility participating in this forum. We will also hear some comments from our Australian counterparts. So this is all about sharing the lesson learned from each forum participants. My name is Dwi Riantara. I'm the head of Organization Empowerment Bureau of Presentasi. I'll be your host today and representing Presentasi in this webinar. Now, I would like to invite Paul Smith, AWA International Manager, to provide welcome remarks.
Thank you, Dwike, and thank you to all our speakers today and participants on the program. It's great to have the opportunity to hear from your experiences, but it's also terrific for AWA to be able to facilitate these partnerships to connect our water operators to share knowledge and innovation in our response measures to this awful pandemic. One thing that we've learnt in Australia during COVID and in our work with our friends from Indonesia is that the water sector is at the very forefront of our country's response to COVID-19, and that by working together, we can overcome this more efficiently and effectively. Please see this forum and our partnership with the PAMPAMSI and its members as a two-way knowledge-sharing venture, one that both the Australian and Indonesian water operators can benefit from. Once again, thank you for your time today and thank you for all the participants involved.
Thank you, Paul. Now I'd like to invite the representative of the Australian Water Partnership. Is Katie here?
Unfortunately, Dwike, Katie is not online at the moment, but she may be attending soon.
Okay, so we skip the remarks from AWP for the time being. And I would like to ask my colleague, Robbie, in Sydney to summarize the activity of COVID-19 forum.
Thank you very much, Dwike. I would first like to acknowledge the efforts and contributions of all the participating utilities who are in attendance today, and your commitment and your interest to share your experiences is greatly appreciated to strengthen the Indonesia-Australia relationship. I would also like to acknowledge the Australian Water Partnership for their ongoing support to further connect our water sectors. And as Dwike and Paul have mentioned, it has been a challenging year for all of us, and this has given an opportunity for us to look to the future and think about how we can do things differently and what is new normal going to look like in 2021. So I hope that we can continue to have these conversations, even though this has been a 4-month pilot program. We really look forward to hearing from your experiences today and to openly discuss how we can continue to share knowledge and experiences and to expand this concept to include maybe more water utilities and to increase the scope to cover many other technical areas for knowledge sharing. So the program commenced, as Dwike mentioned, over 4 months ago, and we had a really good response initially from everyone to participate in the program. We developed a series of guidance notes and tools to help water operators understand how to best respond to the pandemic, and we translated that into Indonesian for further understanding. The highlight of the program would have been the delivery of our webinar in July, where we had all of you presenting on your challenges. And to share that with PAPAMSI's membership, of which over 450 water operators attended, was outstanding. And it was a great contribution to the water sector that we were able to make there. And then recently, we've been really grateful for all of your efforts to put together some practical videos that have allowed you to show or showcase the efforts that each of your utilities are making in response to the pandemic, and all of the different processes, the systems that you have put in place to not just manage COVID-safe environments in your workplace, but also to look after one another, to look after the health and well-being of all employees, and to look after your customers as we manage the effects of the pandemic. And so over the last four months, we have facilitated conversations through many different platforms, and we are using one of them today on Zoom. And I think over the last 6 months, we've all got very familiar with using Zoom as a platform. And we think there's still many opportunities to consider how we can use this moving forward. We also communicate through WhatsApp, and we have a Facebook group. And while we have not shared that much information, I think there is still a good opportunity to utilise those platforms moving forward, and to also consider how we might grow this initiative to include the participation of our young water professionals, our emerging water leaders. And then we've developed a telewater platform. So through the Australian Water Association's knowledge sharing hub, we have a web page dedicated to sharing all of the different experiences from each of you, and to allow for other water operators to access that information in a quick manner. So that page is still accessible, and I can maybe paste it in the chat box for you very soon, just so you can make yourself familiar with the content. So when we ran the webinar in July, we polled all of the water operators that attended, and it was really good to get a greater understanding of the challenges that PDAM and PDPAL are facing, and we will hopefully hear today whether those challenges are still the same or whether they have changed over the last four months, and to get a greater insight into where you think the future challenges may lie. So we still understand that there is a real interest to further understand how to manage business planning around pandemics, so that organisations can continue to operate even during a pandemic where we have to respond to the various health requirements, and also that our customers may be affected, whether they have lost their job or whether they are in a difficult situation and are struggling to get access to water. And incident management control is an area that was identified in the webinar, as well as being something that PDAM and PDPAL would be interested to learn more about. And it's something that we have some of our Australians online today who can share a bit more of that, whether that's today or into the future. So that's really just to give you some understanding as to where we have come from and what we have achieved in this short amount of time. And it's been a privilege to be part of the conversation to support you all and to facilitate all the knowledge sharing. So I'd like to return back to Dwike and we can commence the next stages of the forum.
Thank you, Robbie. Before we begin with the presentation of Indonesian utilities, I need to remind all presenters that you have no more than 5 minutes to deliver your presentation. We do apologize that we have a very limited time allocation, and you know many presenters have to speak in this webinar. So to extend the duration approaching prayer time, Salat Jumat is not advisable. So please be brief and to the point. Sekali lagi kami ingin mengingatkan para presenter, waktu Anda masing-masing hanya 5 menit, sebagaimana yang sudah kami informasikan pada surat undangan. Memang waktu kita sangat terbatas, jadi tolong sampaikan intinya saja, karena hari ini hari Jumat, kita harus bisa selesai jam 11. Now, let's move on to the first presentation to be delivered by Mihana Idarosa Pamjaya.
Hello everybody, I am Mihana from Pamjaya, Jakarta. Okay, the challenges of implementing drinking water supply system during the pandemic COVID-19. What about the current condition? This is a Pamjaya contribution to prevent the spreading of COVID-19. One of which is the construction and water filling of public and washing or wastafel facilities, where there are protocol roads and district offices 47 units, public service offices 25 units, low-income community settlements 53 units, hospital and public health center 10 units, and then station Transjakarta, MRT, LRT 35 units. So totally 170 units. For details, at the end of my presentation, I will play a video of Pamjaya activity. So, what Pamjaya has been doing to overcome the challenges of implementing drinking water supply system during the pandemic COVID-19? 1. Ensure that water produced and distributed to customer is free from COVID-19. 2. Ensure employees, customers, and contractors can adapt and apply new habit or new normal in the potential area of the COVID-19 spread cannot be fully done online or contactless. 3. Ensure the physical and mental health of employees during the implementation of work from home, with daily health monitoring and psychology webinars for all employees. And finally, keep productivity at the same level as before the pandemic, although with minimum workforce. Okay, next is our video during COVID-19. Thank you. Please Pak Dwike, video Pamjaya. everybody. This is our presentation for Pamjaya.
Okay, thank you for the presentation. Now we move on to the next presentation by PT Aitra Air Jakarta.
Thank you, Pak. Good morning, everybody. My name is Judana from Aitra, and I'm happy to be here today to bring up this presentation about pandemic COVID-19. And however, I would like to apologize in advance that this presentation will conduct in bahasa. Hence, I made sure to presentation point in English, ya Pak Duke ya. Ini beberapa poster yang kita sudah laksanakan di Aitra terkait dengan edukasi COVID-19 di area kerja Aitra dan juga di holding Moya. Berikut presentasinya. Latar belakang kita beraktivitas selama tahun 2020 ini kita tidak lepas dari regulasi terkait dengan COVID ya. Jadi ini menjadi dasar kita menjalankan operasional di Air Jakarta. Jadi bahwa regulasi related COVID-19 itu adalah yang pertama adalah periode PSBB atau social distancing, yang ini aturannya sudah ditetapkan oleh DKI Government Regulation nomor 33 tentang social distancing implementation, and then petunjuk teknisnya itu oleh Kadis Naker Transji itu nomor 837, dan kita juga setelah periode PSBB kita juga masuk ke transisi periode yang ini juga sudah diatur oleh peraturan gubernur tentang transisi social distancing implementation. And then kita juga diatur tentang COVID-19 prevention and control in office, terutama di perkantoran dan di industri. Itu ada aturannya, yaitu dari peraturan Menteri Kesehatan nomor 327 2020. Yang berikutnya adalah bagaimana kita managing to safety and health of employee. Jadi kita menjaga kesehatan karyawan supaya produktivitas karyawan tetap terjaga. Terus berikutnya adalah meminimalkan gangguan di operasional. Jadi kita menerapkan yang namanya operasional terbatas atau restricted service selama bulan April sampai dengan Juni, itu staging pertama. Terus staging kedua itu bulan Agustus sampai Oktober. Gitu. Jadi itu berlakunya adalah bahwa sekitar 200 karyawan itu kita karantina di water treatment plant, dan beberapa area lainnya logistik, catering, peralatan.
Bu, maaf Bu, waktunya tinggal 2 menit Bu.
Dan lain-lain. Ya, oke, cepat kok Pak. Ya. Terus yang berikutnya adalah bahwa kita memaksimalkan teknologi ya, yang kita punya Aitra Mobile Application, Logger, AMR, Control Room, dan tetap menjaga revenue kita. Terus activities yang sudah dijalankan selama 2020 ini adalah manage employee risk, jadi semua protokol COVID-19 kita jalankan. Terus clustering, work from home, work from house, work from field, itu kita jalankan. Terus kita juga jalankan protokol cek suhu, pemakaian masker, wash hand, hand sanitizer, terus semua disinfektan kita jalankan. Terus juga selain pembatasan itu semua, kita tetap juga harus menjaga pelayanan ke pelanggan dan monitor ke stakeholders yang lainnya. Gitu. Dan segala pertemuan, meeting itu kita lakukan secara online atau virtual. Nah, kita juga mengelola risiko bisnis proses, yaitu supply itu harus tetap dijaga, terus dengan operasional yang terbatas, tim yang terbatas, tapi kita juga memaksimalkan yang namanya network pressure, by lodger, terus kita juga area-area potensial kita supply dengan special supply air bersih. Terus kita juga memprovide material-material yang prioritas dibutuhkan untuk operasional. Terus secara rutin kita health and safety dan human capital itu inspection, rapid test, terus selalu sosialisasi tentang protokol COVID. Terus kita juga monitor sales and collection secara ketat, biarpun awal-awal kita turun, tapi sekarang kita sudah mulai naik lagi ke target kita 95%, jadi sudah mulai naik mendekati 95% saat ini. Terus untuk meterit, kita spesial hanya di regular customer, sedangkan di key account kita pakai automatic meterit yang sudah dipasang di pelanggan-pelanggan key account. Terus kontak center juga kita berdaya full. Nah, ringkasnya adalah bahwa kita
sudah cukup, Bu?
Mempertahankan ya. Baik, ini sudah baik semua. Baik. Ya, makasih.
Ya. Terima kasih, Bu Yunana. Ya. Mungkin maybe we can read the conclusion and share the lesson learned from the presentation. Now we move on to the next presenter from PD Paljaya. Please, Pak Erwin.
Ya, terima kasih Pak Dwiki. Ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we have two directorate in PD Paljaya. The first is Administration, Finance, and Directorates, and the second is Engineering and Business Directorates. We have a challenge in Administration and Finance Directorate is for us because how to reschedule the candidate of customers. They send us a letter to reschedule the plan of the connecting with the PD Paljaya, especially for the candidates of the customers. And the next is reducing of the service fee. Some of our customers, especially for the high breeding, request the remission for the service fee monthly. This is monthly fee, and the C is increasing of the CRR, increasing the cost for the CRR. This is out of our prediction because the budget is planned the 1 years before, and this year we has a problem about the increasing of the GSR cost and this adjusting of employee working hours is according our the regulation, the local government regulation, which says adjust the employee working hours. This is what is challenge in Administration and Finance Directorates. And then in the Engineering and Business Directorate, we don't have a problem about the operational, but we increase the safety awareness about for the operation and the field worker priorities, because we have a risk because we manage the wastewater. This is have a risk for the infected by the virus. And the second is the risk of the spreading COVID in working area. That's why we spread we avoid the spreading of COVID-19 in office, in the fields, and operator in the plant, and the wastewater treatment plant, and the working area. Next. The next is, this is a company response. What we do during the COVID happened in Jakarta. We sought the revision of the operation maintenance cost. We procurement of the we did a procurement for safety wears. We have safety wears, especially for operators, and we have a regulation about the WFO, work from office, only for 25 till 50% of the total employees, depend on the situation. When the infected of COVID is reduced, we have for the 50% of the total employees. If the little bit better, we hike the work from office until 25% total employees, and then we avoid a big meeting in office. Everything's every meeting, all the meetings just by IT, by Zoom meeting. And what the conclusion of the this situation during the COVID happened in Jakarta? We learned that the information and technology is very important to develop for the future, not only for when the pandemic happened, but this is a very efficient for to manage this company. And we learned this hygiene and sanitation is very important. Wash your hand before you walk, and monitor your temperature, and avoid the meeting with the big person, maybe more than five, or depend on the, and keep the distance safely, more than 1.5 meters. And we learned revenue of the project a little bit difficult to get the fees. Service area is normal, but we have, fortunately, we have, after revenue is not so bad during this during the COVID. Company revenue in 2019, if you compare with 2020, doesn't show a big impact because caused by COVID. And then the next result, we anticipated the wider impacts, how to reduce, how to anticipate the impact of the COVID is bother your activity in company. And we learned actually wastewater is harsh environment for coronavirus. Yeah, thank you, Pak.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Erwin, for the presentation.
Yeah.
Now, Pak Levi will deliver the presentation from Palija. Silakan,
Okay,
Pak.
good afternoon all. Please,
Levi.
could someone share the material, the presentation?
Could you please turn on your video, Pak Levi? Please turn on your video first.
Yes.
While we are...
Hello.
Okay.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to present the planning and strategy from Palija when we are facing this pandemic. Okay, this is the presentation. So I'm going very brief about what is our planning and strategy. We go straight for the slide number 2. Okay, this is mainly our commitment to run our business. So Palija as a public utilities, we are committed to provide services to our customers and continue to optimize supply allocation to the demand area. We developed our system to protect employees from the COVID-19 exposure and develop communication by online to all stakeholders. The next one. Okay, this is that we are we have been developing this BCP organization, and whenever the pandemic strikes in March, we active our BCP organization. What is the main purpose of this BCP is first, we need to prioritize which process must be continuously running. That is the operation team for production, network, and customer service. And we also continue to conduct risk assessment and determine the mitigation over the past almost 9 months. We continue to improve our assessment about the risk during this pandemic. And we ensure our minimal stock for material and manpower. We proceed to implement our standard operation of procedure and guidance for safety and health. And we develop mechanism for tracing procedure in case any staff is detected positive for COVID-19. About this tracing procedure, I'm going to briefly explain on the next slide. Okay, as you can see here, it's a pretty too small. If you can, I believe you cannot read all, but I will give you the brief explanation. Basically, the flow chart is how we trace the contacts whenever the person inside the company is stated positive for COVID-19. As you can see, it is mainly divided into two steps. We trace for the level 1 and level 2 contacts, and the level 1 goes to the left and the level 2 goes to the right process. The level 1, we go straight to conduct the swab test. During the swab test for the level 1, the level 2 need to be quarantined for 14 days. Whenever the result out for the level 1, whenever it is positive, then we continue to conduct the swab test for the level 2. Whenever the level 1 is stated negative for COVID-19, then both level 1 and level 2 may continue to work. That is the main thing about the tracing procedure. It seems so complicated, but it is complicated. Yeah, it takes time and it takes cost as well. And after all the procedures that we all implement, we realize that the COVID-19 will last it in 2021. What is our strategy for the next year? This is the strategy when we realize that the pandemic is not going to over soon. At least the sooner way we predict it still lasted in up to semester 1 in 2021. So we must prepare with extra care. The plan is we are going to conduct the RDT or rapid test routine for all employees who are elected to conduct work from office. We need to comply with local authority regulation. Example given is filling the SAC. SAC is a self-assessment for COVID-19 before they return to work. And no employees with comorbidity is allowed to conduct the work from office. The third one, we split employees and outsourcers and everyone within the company into different working groups. Only one group that will perform work from office in one period of time. That is 2-week time. So every working group is working every 2 weeks. So we ensure that no working group could meet other groups, so we ensure that no one will get in touch during this pandemic. We strictly applied no contact between groups, and also we fully implement online meeting both for employees who are working from office and also employees who are working from home, as well as with the third party, such as with Pamjaya or with the government or other company. When we are going to have a meeting, then we must go online. And the next one is we actively monitor and coordinate with officials about the COVID-19 vaccine, about the logistics, about time of implementation. This is important for our business, especially for 2021, how we manage our business, and we comply with the regulations and implementation of the vaccine. And the last one, surely we continue to strict implementation of protocols that we already are aware of to stop the spreading the virus within Palija area. That is all for Palija. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pak Levi. Very interesting presentation, and also very good English speaking too. Now we move on to the next presenter from Bidang Surya Sembada Kota Surabaya. Please, we invite Pak Alvin.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, good afternoon for my colleague in Australia. Thank you to Pak Dwike and Paul and Robbie as for the arranging this event. This is a very good event to strengthening relationship between Indonesia and Australia water company. So again, we try to share our lesson learned about the PDAM Surabaya in facing COVID-19 crisis. Of course.
Slide-nya bisa di-play, Pak.
Okay. Play, how to play?
F5, Pak. Yeah.
Display?
Yeah, very good.
It's okay? Okay. Okay. So, in generally, the COVID-19 crisis has impact to PDAM Surabaya, specifically for our sales revenue. That's why that's the reason why we need to refocusing our investment wisely, and also and also monitor our costs tightly. So we are focusing to reach our profits as a budget as budget in 2020. So in general, so we try to share about the PDAM Surabaya at glance. Surabaya has an area about 350 square kilometers. Surabaya has 3.3 million populations. PDAM Surabaya serve about close to 600,000 of customers, and its coverage of area about 99.3%. PDAM Surabaya has a total length of pipe about 6,000 kilometers, and we operate six water plants and 14 pump stations. We also distribute about 12,000 liters per second of the water. So PDAM Surabaya has undergone a deep transformation to continue guaranteeing to our water services to the population, and to make it possible, remote control of processes and infrastructures, call center or social distancing measures have made digitalization. Again, the key is the digitalization, because digitalization is an essential tool to maintain our quality of services. The three lessons learned how PDAM responds the COVID-19 crisis. Number one, water has become a key element in the fight against the COVID-19. The COVID-19 crisis has made clear that the water distribution must be expanded and improved in some unserved/remote areas. Water is an essential resource to making hygiene and hand washing habits possible. Early detection of COVID-19 in wastewater is helping authority takes preventive measures and anticipates outbreaks in the city. Outbreaks, yes, outbreaks mean in Indonesia called PSBB. Yeah. PDAM Surabaya makes sure that the water supply and distribution are well run and controlled to support the local authority. Number two, the COVID-19 crisis has boosted digital transformation at PDAM Surabaya. The COVID-19 crisis has both that continuity and qualities of supply is possible. The COVID-19 crisis is expected to boost an implementation of automation and remote control processes. The most important is the reducing the exposure of workers and customers to the virus COVID-19. And also we are offering value-added service to the population. In responding the COVID-19 crisis, PDAM Surabaya applies the Services and Operation Command Center as a tool to control the services and operation of PDAM Surabaya for 24 hours, 7 days a week. In 2020, PDAM is investing 6 billion rupiah on digital solution and will increase 70% for the next year. Number three, water utility must be prepared for an uncertainty future. The COVID-19 crisis is not one-day event. We don't know how long it will last, and we will certainly see other similar crises in the coming years. The bottom line is anticipation. So the digitalization in the water utility has increased better face the new scenario of uncertainty. It is necessary to promote cultural change within organization and in the relationship with customers, where face-to-face conservation will be reduced to make way for the interaction through digital media. The other side, PDAM Surabaya is also promoting awareness campaigns on the importance of good hygiene habits. The water utility can definitely be at the forefront of the fight against the COVID-19 crisis. So this is the room of our SOCC, PDAM Surabaya, and it looked like a cinema. So I'm sure everyone here missed to see a movie in cinema. So we have the big screen there. So all operation and services established on the screen, and all data can be accurate. And as a top management, we can use that data to make strategic decisions. Again, terima kasih, thank you, mercy, and matur nuwun. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Pak Alvin, for the excellent presentation. Now, the last will be from Perumda Air Minum Tirta Sanjiwani, Kabupaten Gianyar.
Good afternoon, everybody. We will explain my presentation from Perumda Air Minum Tirta Sanjiwani, Gianyar. As general description, okay. As general description, within the cooperation between Perpamsi and the Australian Water Association, AWA, has started from a forum to help Perpamsi members in dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic. The following below is an overview of the implementation of COVID-19 prevention by Perumda Air Minum Tirta Sanjiwani, Kabupaten Gianyar. Number one, planning. Perumda Air Minum Tirta Sanjiwani, Kabupaten Gianyar is planning activities that will be carried out to narrow the impact of COVID-19. Number two, organizing. Perumda Air Minum Tirta Sanjiwani organized the COVID-19 team, the establishes provision according to the protocol set by a government. Number three, actuating. Implementation of the COVID-19 protocol in each Perumda area by employees and customers. Number four, the implementation of the COVID-19 protocol will always be controlled in both technical and non-technical space. Activities that are released during pandemic. Number one, technical. Monitoring water quality from any virus. I repeat, I'm sorry. Monitoring water quality free from any virus. Monitoring pressure and continuity during the COVID-19 and pandemic with physical distancing with customer and face shield. Limitation of overtime hours for operational workers. Handling repairs of physical and non-physical water leak using the COVID-19 protocol. And then management pressure with reducing pump supply and midnight hours. The handling of complaint in red zone areas such as meter readers is carried out through information technology facilities to minimize the risk of exposure. 2, non-technical, upgrading pamphlet or contents full with information how to behave during pandemic for employees and customers. The free fines to customers billed during the COVID pandemic. Provide installment relief for bill. Providing facilities for a clean and healthy lifestyle for human resources and customers, includes the sterilization of work area. Regulating the division of work hours by shifting patterns or work from home without deducting employees' salaries. Add more multivitamin and consumption for field workers, especially for overtime work. COVID team of Perumda Air Minum Tirta Sanjiwani has been controlling for prevention pandemic to internal environment and external with rapid test and application of 3 M's: wearing mask, washing hand, maintaining distance. Conclusion. With the initiation of the collaboration between Perpamsi and the Australia Water Association, we have come to a conclusion about how to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic in the spam and wastewater areas of Indonesia. Perumda Air Minum Tirta Sanjiwani progress the advice and information obtained from the forum during the COVID-19 pandemic by implementing the number of general protocols issued by the government and, of course, also Perumda's initiative in the dealing with pandemics. For example, how to manage the safety of workers who must remain off duty in the field, get around the decline income from payment of bills, ensure drinking water and water is safe from virus, and so on. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Pak Puaji. That's all the presentation from Indonesian Utilities. So now we would like to have some comments from our Australian counterparts.
I will say what a tremendous amount of effort all of you have undertaken in a very short time. Indeed, I think there's much the Australian water sector and our water operators can learn from yourselves. So my first thought is this is very much a two-way knowledge sharing program, and as the world evolves very fast, I think that's the only way we can see this partnership is learning our experiences as we go along. But I just wanted to say congratulations to all of you on what you've done so far. And I'd like to defer the particular technical comments to Ravi and the other water Utilities from Australia. But I would like to say I did pick up a comment from Alvin that Surabaya were doing COVID testing in wastewater. Alvin, is that something that you've found useful? And are you able to comment on how widely that's used across other PDAMs and PDPALs?
Alvin?
Yeah, thank you, Paul. So actually the COVID-19 testing is based on request from the local authority. So because they have own lab, and then we put them the wastewater or water to make sure that our the water that distribute is safe to consume, and also the wastewater is also we monitor about the spread of the COVID-19. So what we do is based on request of the health department of the local authority. Yes.
Well, that's excellent. And AWA has just started a program to share our experiences in the application of those methods. And I'd love to follow up with you on your experiences and welcome anyone online today to join that program and get involved in some of those knowledge sharing activities. Dwike, I'll leave my comments because I'm eager to hear from our Australian water operator practitioners. Thank you.
Yes. So we invite all participants in this forum to make some comments or provide inputs on how we can follow up or develop the discussion from the forum.
Great presentation from everyone. It was obviously quite interesting to see how you guys have gone since the initial presentation back in June or July, whenever that was. It's great to see how you guys have implemented your plans and got them up and running very well. Obviously, down here in Victoria, we've been very, we had an outbreak and we had to deal with that. Luckily, no one in our organisation got sick. So yeah, we've obviously been busy implementing our own action plans on it, or developing our own plans on how we're dealing with the outbreak and working from home. Yes, it was Alvin's presentation at the end with how we're very much on the technology side. It will be the outcomes of COVID-19 will be very much more technical, working from home. So IT and information will be very vital to the future of all organisations working from home, and work-life balance will be different. Will come out different to what we were doing in the past. Whether it's 1 day a week working from home or 2 days a week working from home, if you can, or compared to 5 days a week in the office, or more work-life balance, or if we can do our job from home, we'll be working from home. Ravi might have something to add.
Thank you, Tom. Now I can hear the comment from Ravi is coming in. Ravi?
Yeah, no, thanks. Thanks for the opportunity to be able to join this forum again. And, as Tom said, I think definitely, we were really all going well. And then this pandemic came through. And so, it's not an easy thing really going in both sides. And but I've been listening. Actually, I was late to this meeting, but listened to the last few of the presentations, and really I could be able to see that how you are really implementing your plans, and it's not easy. I think the digital transformation, as Tom said, really it happened. I don't know. I think somebody said who implemented that. It's a CEO, CFO, the COVID-19, and it's really that opportunity came, and then just really it changed that the way we operate, and we are able to really have internationally, able to really, like listen to what's happening in your area as well. And so it's good. We in Victoria, we have been going through some hard time as well, actually, but we are coming along from there now, and so I think we have implemented the similar setups, especially segregating the staff and like identifying. If you identify something, there are protocols there, and business continuity plans, and all of them really have been set up really very strongly. And I think it's going well, and I'm glad to actually hear the presentations from all parts of Indonesia and how you are going well. Thanks for that, Wike.
Thank you, Ravi. Now we will hear from Ibu Astrid, Yarra Valley Water.
Selamat pagi. Saya coba pakai bahasa Indonesia ya. I was just going to say I'm trying my Indonesian, probably not as good. Ya, itu bagus sekali ide-idenya. Saya lupa tadi siapa yang punya dua shift ya, dua grup, itu bagus sekali. Jadi kalau ada yang satu kena, terus yang nggak menularkan grup yang lain, itu sangat bagus. IT definitely, kalau nggak ada IT ya semuanya jatuh ya. Kayaknya kita sudah itu, dan dari Yarra Valley sendiri kita tidak ada orang di kantor, kantor kosong habis. Kalau bisa saya kemarin ke kantor, ditanya, diinterogasi tepatnya, kenapa kamu perlu ke kantor? Untuk apa? Karena ya bisa kerja dari rumah. Saya bilang internet saya rusak, saya jadi harus kerja dari kantor. So ya, bagus sekali. Dan saya mau tanya, bagaimana pengalamannya ibu-ibu dan bapak-bapak? Ada yang kena COVID dari staff?
Ya, mungkin ada yang bisa share kejadian di PDPAL atau di Surabaya?
Iya, oke, Pak Dwiki, Bu Astrid. Ya. Kita ada 12 orang yang kena, tapi 12, tapi itu ada sebagian cleaning service, sebagian dewan komite, kemudian ada beberapa karyawan. Tapi sekarang sudah recovery, tidak berlanjut. Ya, sekarang sudah stop. Dan tapi antisipasi desinfektan, penyemprotan, spreading itu spraying of the disinfectant is still every day in the morning.
They are all well recovered.
Protokol tetap kita ikuti. Ya.
Bagus, berarti protokolnya bekerja.
Bekerja, Bu. Ya.
Bagus sekali.
Surabaya?
Ya,
mungkin ya.
Ya, Surabaya kita punya, we have almost 2,000 employees. Yeah, and until the last report to me yesterday, we got 18 that positive COVID, but 17 are cured. Yeah, now they are stable, good. Yeah. And the one still in the hospital for treatment. Mm-hmm. So yes, we do the same thing, like we divide into 2 groups, similar. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we also divide until 5 groups. Which is every group cannot see the others. So mereka tidak boleh bertemu satu sama lain. Yeah, they cannot see the others between group 1 with the group 2 with the group 3. There's really spirit, because we try, if one group hit by COVID, so we have the 4 other groups. So this is we do actually, and thank you for the sharing, Bapak Ibu sekalian, and Paul and Robbie, Tom, really appreciate.
Yeah. So, like I mentioned in the opening of this webinar, we lost our colleagues from suffering the COVID-19. that our executive director, Mr. Asari Mardiono, passed away in June because of the COVID-19 when he was in Surabaya. And at the time we were working from home. We didn't see him since March, but then we got the news that Pak Asari passed away. He got sick for about a week, and actually he didn't come to the office since March, so we didn't see him, no contact with him, and he got the virus probably when he was taken to the hospital, because he accompanied his wife during after the Eid al-Fitri. Yeah. So it's a very sad experience for us in Propamsi also, and that's why now we are very, very careful in protecting our office employees. Yeah, that's our experience.
It brings it home, doesn't it?
It certainly does, Dwiko. That's a really raw and insightful lesson that perhaps we in Australia and certainly at AWA we haven't been directly exposed to. But that really brings home the importance of what it is we're doing. Well done.
Yeah.
Ivan, we want to hear from you.
Afternoon, everybody. Yeah, I just want to echo everyone else's thoughts on this. Paul, I think, summed it up quite well. This is a learning on both sides. It's not just a learning for the Indonesian utilities, and some of the things that I've seen there are really quite innovative. And I think sometimes you need something like this to spur the creativity a little bit. One of the things that I don't know if you guys in Indonesia really appreciate is your ability to deliver. We tend to plan quite a bit in Australia, and not only do we take a long time planning, we also take a long time to deliver, and we focus very heavily on getting good value and procurement. And ultimately what happens is we miss the value because we're a year or 2 years later than when we should have actually implemented the solution. But I'm seeing solutions across all those utilities that we could never have done in the time frame you've done it. So congratulations and well done, and I think we can learn a lot from our side as well. So excellent work, and I really love the Surabaya SOC. It's very much based on what they saw when they came to Unity Water, so it's great to see it, and it's we send those photos all around our teams to show them the impact they're having.
Thank you, Ivan. Now we invite our Indonesian participants also to provide inputs and maybe share some ideas with us on how we can make this forum develop and benefit other water utilities in Indonesia. Mungkin Ibu Harni, other Indonesian colleagues, you can speak in Bahasa Indonesia, of course.
Thank you, Pak Dwi. Is it clear enough my voice? Sorry, yes, I cannot turn on my video because I have another light actually. Okay. Is it clear enough? Is it okay if I didn't turn on the video?
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, there are two I need to ask to my colleagues in Australia. The first, if we speak about the procedure and guidance for the safety and health, I think it's clear enough. There are many action has been taken like that. But I would like to ask the progress of how do you prepare in Australia for the recovery time? I mean recovery time. Do you have any news regarding the vaccine in there? Do you have any special preparations to get the vaccine there? Because there are many information that we got. They say that okay, next year will have vaccines, but we don't know actually we don't know the exact time. So maybe you can share the preparation for that we call as recovery time. If you have any information regarding the vaccine, it will be valuable for us. This is the first. And the second, I would like to know how your actions if your staff detected positive COVID. Yes, in Palija, as presented by, in Palija, as presented by Pak Levy, we have strict that we call a mechanism for tracing procedure. We have, there are many actions need to be taken if any staff detected COVID, positive COVID like that. But how about in there? Do you have any, any actions to detect the staff detected positive COVID? But in Indonesia, we call OTG, orang tanpa gejala. Do you have any action to detect that? How to orang tanpa gejala? So actually the staff already infected by COVID, but there is no how to say, tidak ada gejala like that.
Person without symptom.
Yes, without symptom. Yes, thank you, Pak Dwi. Without symptom. In Palija, as presented by Levy, we have to running the operations. So there are around 30% our staff working in the operations. Before they go to the office, we ask them to fill that we call self-assessment form. In the self-assessment form, there are 12 questions. The first question, of course, are you in the good condition? And the second, we touch not only to the staff, but we touch on also to the family of the staff. We ask, do you have any family are working in the hospital? Do you stay with the family? Are working in the public utilities like that? But when they come to the office, if they are no symptom, we cannot screening them. So far, we screening them by implement the form self-assessment. If they say yes, of course, they will not allow to walking to the company. So maybe you have a specific method for that. Thank you. There are 2 questions to my colleagues in Australia. Thank you, Pak Dwi.
Thank you, Bu Harni. Anyone from the Australian utilities?
I might just offer some observations on the first question and then defer to my colleagues on the other questions. But please, Australian operators, jump in with the first question as well. In regards to the vaccine development, the exact dates of distribution and injection are not exactly clear at this stage in Australia. We have been receiving very positive signs that the vaccine is quite effective, and I've heard 94 to 96%. We understand that they are going through the final safety and regulatory procedures to ensure that it's safe. And after that, I think in the interim to that, and right at the moment, they are mass producing the vaccines in anticipation of the regulatory approvals. The earliest we've heard is that frontline service workers, such as doctors and nurses, may get the injection as early as this year or early in January, but I can't be absolutely sure on that. Any of my other colleagues wish to contribute to that question, but the other questions as well.
So, Dwiki, there was some questions around how do we identify people who may be asymptomatic, is that right?
Yes.
Yes,
yeah. Well, yes, I guess that is a risk for us as an organization. We're doing the same as what you guys are doing. We have split our critical workers into multiple groups. We've also, primarily work from home where possible. Queensland has been very lucky in that we closed our borders, both our state borders to other states in Australia, as well as our international borders, and we weren't heavily affected by COVID-19. But at the same time, we took extra precautions by implementing some physical distancing rules and advising our staff to work from home where possible. In the last month or so, we've relaxed a lot of those restrictions, and we are moving back to what a new normal may look like, which will include some level of working from home and some level of working from the office. It's unlikely we will ever go back to 100% working from the office. And generally it'll be probably between 60%, 70% working in the office and the balance working from home. So yes, asymptomatic people are an issue, but if you keep people physically distant, as in not in the office, then you can resolve that. With respect to our field workers who have no choice but to go to work, we stopped them from sharing cars, and that has not been reinitiated yet. So there is only one person per car to travel to a site, and we haven't yet decided when we will start to merge those guys again.
Thank you, Robbie and Paul. I think it's fair enough. Actually, almost the same with the Indonesia, right?
Yeah.
Still not fixed yet, and also the Ivan explained that like that. Yeah, the same happened also in Indonesia actually. But I think you have. I hope you have any one what we call. I think this is still happen. I mean, this is our homework actually. How to detect any staff detected positive COVID but without any symptom. Yes, grouping has been established. We also trace his history, travel, etc. But yeah, this is it. I think it will be implemented like that. Thank you. About the vaccines, so in Australia also in January, in Indonesia also January, ya Pak Dwi, based on the information from the government.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Pak.
Hopefully, in 2021, next year, we will be entering the next new normal. So I think this forum could contribute on how to prepare for the next new normal, especially for water utilities in Indonesia. Maybe AWA can continue work together with PAMSI to facilitate the water utility forum on containing COVID-19 like this. Is there any possibility to continue the partnership with the support from the Australian Water Partnership? Robbie and Paul?
Indeed. Yes, indeed.
It is something we are exploring right now. So this opportunity to hear from you today has been wonderful, and AWA and PAMSI will reflect on the experiences you have shared. And I have many ideas around some areas, for example, our digital systems and platforms. To continue to develop those, we must continue to share knowledge. And I think there is a huge opportunity there to support one another.
Good.
Yeah,
good.
Paul? Yes, Paul.
Yes, I'd most certainly like to encourage everyone to firstly continue the dialogue and share your experiences between yourselves. But as Robbie said, AWA are most certainly in discussions with AWP and DFAT to not only augment the set of COVID tools that you're sharing amongst yourselves, but to enhance the platform for sharing of those tools more broadly across PAMSI members and more broadly across Australian members. So we're early in discussions, but I just want to say we're committed to our partnership with PAMSI and the knowledge sharing program between Australian utilities and Indonesian PDAMs and PDPALs, and we'll be in touch very soon. But please forward any suggestions you have on how we can most efficiently and effectively share knowledge between ourselves, well, until a COVID vaccine is produced. But I think there's certainly scope for exploring opportunities for resilience planning, not only for COVID, but for future pandemics and more broadly other risks. Thanks, Dwight.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. There is one more issue I would like to raise in this forum before we finish. Robbie and I had discussed about the the approach should be taken, because we realize that most of the time during the last 4 months, there were only a few discussions from participants. So we would like to make them very active and share everything they think is relevant and important for other participants. But we didn't see many question and answers, and also discussion between Indonesian participants, also Indonesian participants and the Australian participants. So how can we make this forum more active and more comfortable or interesting for all participants? Probably our Indonesian participant can contribute their ideas. Bagaimana caranya supaya kita punya forum yang lebih aktif dan banyak hal yang bisa kita share? I understand that we are all very busy with a daily routine, but maybe if we think that this forum is very important, and we also need to share and get some knowledge from this activity, so we should commit to develop our forum to be a better and benefit all members.
So, okay, is one of the key issues that raised by Paul is very interesting. It's about early detection of COVID-19 in the wastewater. It is because Surabaya has a big river. We call it Surabaya River. So it is one of our water resource. I'm sure in the Jakarta also I don't know where the water resource come from, but it will be beneficial for the water company and also the authority, to early detect the COVID-19 that's in the wastewater. It is something that's the key issues, one of the key issues that we can discuss further, and we find the solution and how we operate with Australia and an internal Indonesian water company.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Alvin, for explaining about the wastewater surveillance by Bidang Surabaya. So anyone can make a comment or provide inputs regarding the issue I raised before. We have 3 minutes before finishing this webinar. Jadi teman-teman di Indonesia, kami ingin tahu apakah ada masukan bagaimana caranya supaya kita bisa membuat forum ini ke depannya lebih aktif. Mungkin kita sudah selesai dengan 4 bulan ini, tapi Perpamsi dan AWA akan melanjutkan melibatkan lebih banyak lagi penyelenggara spam di Indonesia untuk mendapatkan manfaat dari pertukaran informasi ini. Mungkin kalau untuk perusahaan-perusahaan air minum yang besar seperti Pamjaya, Aetra, Palija, Bidang Surabaya sudah cukup menerapkan dan mengimplementasikan berbagai protokol kesehatan dan inovasi-inovasi. Namun banyak perusahaan air minum lain yang di Indonesia ini yang belum sampai kepada taraf itu. Jadi kita perlu untuk melibatkan mereka, dan rencananya Perpamsi dan AWA akan mengundang mereka juga untuk terlibat dalam forum semacam ini. Dari Pamjaya atau Aetra? Dan PayPal mungkin?
Yeah, Pak Dwiki, what we learn about our pandemic in pandemic COVID-19 in Jakarta, in PD Paljaya especially. Well, for the future, we should develop the IT, so the activity, the field is we can monitor from the office, and then sanitation and hygiene is very important for the employees, all the employees. We changed our behavior before pandemic and right now. So this is a very important to keep our employees safe, to avoid the COVID. And the other is anticipation of reducing of revenue, because the economic condition of customer, we don't know the future. We don't know the impact of the COVID is for the future for a long time, 2 or 3 years next. So we should anticipate the reducing of the revenue with maybe what is this diversion. What is this? The other business, to develop the other business, not only main business, but looking for the other chance to develop our business beside of the main our functions. Thank you, Pak Dwike and the others.
Baik, Pak Erwin.
Dwike.
Yes,
Fabi. Yeah. Now, in terms of how can we really continue to have this, I thought maybe, like especially the question Palija Haruni actually came similar to that, if we have questions probably given to us before, it's probably even it can come in Indonesian language and then, it's got translated, and so we have that. Because for that one, we do have a lot of documents showing that, if we identify what are the protocols, procedures, it is probably well defined by probably more through the Department of Health in government, and we are happy to share. These all are really public documents and can summarize, and then that could be translated as well. So then in this meeting, it could be pretty useful. So it can come from others as well. So, maybe it could come through Robbie, he could coordinate, or because it's all different water corporations there. But I thought there are opportunities there that we can continue to share knowledge through questions given to us probably well before this meeting, and we can really provide answers for that.
Yeah, so I think we can continue the WhatsApp group and also Facebook group where we can continue to share any information and knowledge related to the COVID-19 pandemic. Bu Astrid, you have any idea?
Yeah, I was just going to say maybe have lots of small, because I think what you're talking about is interactive. The amount of people I found with Zoom meetings, the amount of people in the Zoom meetings really does play a role. If there's too many, there's too little, it's a bit tricky. So, and I was just going to make a suggestion, have maybe lots of sessions, but one session, one topic, rather than trying to cover every topic in the same thing. So a shorter session, less people, then that way you get the conversation going. And I echo what Rafi said, have the questions beforehand and have it translated probably does help a lot. I think I'm the lucky one with all the other Indonesian utilities that understands both sides. But yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Bu Astrid. Now it's the end of the webinar today, and I think it is also officially the end of the forum. We will dismiss the Indonesia-Australia Water Utility Forum on containing COVID-19 today, and Perpamsi and AWA will still trying to facilitating the new cooperation between Indonesia and Australia water sector. Thank you everyone for joining us. So goodbye for today.
Thank you, Pak Dwike. Thank you, Robbie.
Okay, thank you, Pak Dwike.
Thank you, Pak Dwike. Thank you. Thank you, Bu Astrid.
Thank you, Robbie, Paul, Ivan, all. Thank you, Pak Dwi. Terima kasih.
Thank you, everyone.
Selamat siang.
Thank you all.